Hey friends, Sean from SGT Report with a video I really don't want to make. It wasn't on my schedule or agenda to make this video today. I've got an interview with Ken Shorjan that I need to finish editing and post for you guys. It's a really gripping conversation about the foundation of Israel and the Rothschilds and what's really going on geopolitically, how much of it is contrived, how much of it is biblical. That interview is going to have to wait until at least tomorrow because now I feel compelled to make this video about Mike Adams in Natural News. Because in the words of, and I had to look the name up of this man because I remembered the quote, I didn't know who said it, Martin Niemöller, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I didn't speak out because I was not a Jew. And then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me." I just want to address how insidious and evil this attack on truth media has now become, and how truly evil Google is being. They have blacklisted Natural News, which is a completely Orwellian attack on not only free speech, but on truth. And of course, as you guys already know, InfoWars has been under attack with its ad provider, adroll.com, dropping them. Now Natural News has been delisted by Google. So let's just quickly take a look at what that means, because at first it might just make you think that new posts from Natural News just won't come up in a Google feed. It's even worse than that. Today, when you Google Natural News, the first thing that comes up that catches your eye is this hit piece from Gizmodo, which is a very popular website. The title of which is "Google Blacklists Natural News, the web's leading authority on DIY Ebola vaccines." You want to talk about a hit job, what a stupid headline that is. But you're going to notice that all of the mainstream Mockingbird media is circling the wagons with ad hominem hit pieces against Mike Adams. The article reads, "Yesterday, the website Natural News had roughly 140,000 of its pages delisted from Google. Now the site's owner, Mike the Health Ranger Adams, is crying foul. He claims that companies like Google are anti-Trump globalists who are waging a war against speakers of truth. But the evidence suggests," they write, "there's no anti-conspiracy website conspiracy here." If you scroll down, it says, officially Google won't say why the site was delisted from search results, but the company does confirm that it happened. And in this Gizmodo hit piece, they say, Natural News is notorious for spreading false information about health and wellness. And if I personally ran Google, this author writes, I'd definitely train my algorithmic robots to at least roll their robotic eyes at the shit Natural News posts. Welcome to the world of Google, Big Brother Orwellian tyranny. So we can see Google's plan. They're going to crush Natural News. Gizmodo is a huge site. But if we scroll down the page, the very first return we see after the Facebook return is this one from Science Blogs. Google delists Mike Adams' naturalnews.com. His hilarious tantrum about the conspiracy behind it is epic, as is my schadenfreude. This despicable fake news, probably Soros-sponsored piece of trash website, scienceblogs.com, goes on to disparage and I think libel Mike Adams. Now, I just want to read a brief snippet of this piece of trash to you so you understand that the powers that be are now in the process of trying to destroy Mike Adams. They're not just trying to put an end to Natural News. They're not just trying to kill his traffic. They're trying to destroy the man who I think has a very good heart and who I think has been on the side of humanity for a very long time. So I'll quote this piece of trash blog. This is scienceblogs.com. Quote, regular readers here are probably familiar with Mike Adams and his website, naturalnews.com. Forget the anti-vaccine crank blog, Age of Autism. When it comes to wretched hives of scum and quackery on the internet, Natural News is the wretchedest, scummiest, and quackiest. Not surprisingly, Adams got his start in wing nuttery selling Y2K scams nearly 18 years ago. Now besides, I'm not even going to read the whole thing. It's such trash, it's such character assassination, and it's such a wonderful example of how Google is a monopoly, and it shows the danger of monopolies. But it's not just that specific attack. If you type in Google Natural News, the fourth return is this despicable post from Debunking Denialism. Again, you guys, you have to realize these are probably Soros-funded hit pieces at websites that I don't think probably anybody's ever heard of, that are now getting the natural news traffic because of what Google has done. And on this blog, this shill named Emil Carlson writes, Natural News is one of the largest pseudoscientific and anti-medicine websites on the internet. Over the years, they have published materials denying that HIV causes AIDS, rejected the germ theory of diseases, promoted conspiracy theories about Zika virus, medical doctors, or the Sandy Hook school shooting. The website opposes climate science, vaccines, and GMOs, and has pushed hundreds of fake cures. Look, again, this is propaganda catered for the sheeple people. This is absolute corporate Orwellian propaganda that is 100% created to try to keep the sheeple who are not yet awake in line. And what is so insidious and despicable about this is that they are going to ruin a person, they're going to ruin a man, they're going to ruin a website, or at least attempt to, in the effort to prevent people from waking up. Because if you take even 1 second to debunk any of this garbage, the first thing you're going to zero in on is the vaccine argument. And we know for a fact now that the CDC itself was covering up the fact that they knew that mercury in vaccines is damaging to children and linked to autism. It's a fact. Thimersal, look it up. But they don't want you to look it up. They don't want you to look into GMOs and the dangers of GMOs. They don't want you to look into anything other than the mainstream version of events. And that is what is so dangerous and fascist and nightmarishly Orwellian about what's going on here. And again, getting back to that opening quote, they're coming for me next. They're coming for Activist Post next. They'll be coming for Zero Hedge. They'll be coming for all of us in the alt media. It doesn't matter if you go by the name TruthStream Media or if you go by the name Liberty Blitzkrieg. They are coming for all of us because this is an orchestrated attack against truth. And I cannot imagine living in a day, in a time in the United States of America where this is now allowed to stand. Again, the danger of monopolies. Google. Google's the biggest site on the internet. Everybody uses Google to find the information they want to find. But it's not just Google. I thought maybe Natural News is still being treated as a viable website by Yahoo. So I did a search on Natural News. And what comes up? The third return and the first return under Facebook is this one from Science Blogs that I just read to you. Google delists Mike Adams' Natural News, his hilarious tantrum. There's nothing hilarious about what's going on here. Even if you disagree with every word that's ever come out of Mike Adams' mouth, you would have to defend his right to speak if you cherish our Bill of Rights, if you cherish the First Amendment. I just think it's absolutely outrageous, and it really is horrifically evil what's happening here. And Mike Adams made a video just the other day saying that he was contacted by a source that he wouldn't name who offered him money and threatened him that if he didn't help destroy Alex Jones, that they would destroy Mike Adams. And now that's exactly what appears to have happened. My God, you guys, if these are not the times that try men's souls, then I don't know what times those are. The level of the tyranny is almost indescribable, and it's never been more clear that the enemies aligned against freedom and humanity are circling the wagons. And I'll leave you guys with this. I don't know how to help Mike Adams. I don't know how to reverse the tide of what's going on here, short of getting the president himself to step in. But what is happening here is defined as fascism to the degree that an oligarchical corporatocracy as huge and monolithic as Google has the power to do this to people, to individuals, to stem the tide of free speech, to kill a viable, useful, wonderful website that's helped many people. I can't think of anything worse. I can't think of anything more evil, and I can't think of anything more anti-American than Google doing what it's doing to Mike Adams and Natural News. And guess what? Just to rub salt in the open wound, I'd like to share this news story with you, which I just discovered from my friend Call for an Uprising on YouTube as I was scheduling out videos to hit the phaser today. John Podesta has been hired by Jeff Bezos' blog, The Washington Post, as a columnist. You heard that right. Top story from Washington Post as distributed by Google. John Podesta joins the Washington Post as contributing columnist. So as they curb truth, as they close the gate for truth to freely flow and compete against the lies, they will stack the deck with hardcore criminals like John Skippy Podesta to work at and spew lies from the mainstream Mockingbird Media Washington Post. These are the times that try men's souls.
Let me tell you what fake news is. It's 90% of our media being owned by 6 corporations, 6 disgustingly owned corporations that determine what news is. And anybody on the outside that's not part of the corporate media, they're fake news. Reality, what people need to understand, it's the mainstream is the fake news.